Okay.
Hello, and this is Dr. Martin, and I'm doing a off-the-cuff interview with Mr. Horace Bynum, and he's going to tell us some of the things that he's learned on his 91 years of life. He is a nanogenarian. Nanogenarian. Wow. Tell us.
Wow. Well, I was born November 2nd, 1916, to Henry Bynum and Amanda Bynum. I was the second child of their marriage. And I was born at home on Willow Street. We were living uh, at 4519 Willow Street, and that's where I was born. Uh, of course, at that time, there were midwives. There was no doctor, and everything was done right at the house. The hospital was the house. We had, there were four boys in our family, Bernard being the oldest. I was the second child, and Alden was the third child. Alvin was the baby. Uh, Bernard and Alden are deceased, and Alvin and I are still living. Alvin lives in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I presently live in Fort Worth, Texas. I lived in New Orleans, Louisiana, the majority of my life. I should say all my life. I was dispelled in 2005, August the 29th, when Katrina and the flood, the levees broke, and the city of New Orleans was flooded. Total city was wiped out. We moved all around the United States. We went to Pensacola, Florida, and from there we went to Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Came back to Louisiana, and we stopped and stayed in Laplace, Louisiana for quite some time. Finally, we went back to New Orleans, and we stayed in an apartment that was owned by my grandson, Adolph Jr. And the Thanksgiving of the year 2005, we decided to come to Fort Worth to visit Angie, my granddaughter, and Rose, my daughter-in-law. Angie had relocated to, let's see, 3 or 4 years ago to this, at that time, to this Dallas-Fort Worth area. And Rose had finally wound up here in Texas with Angie. We came out here to visit them for Thanksgiving, and we had a very nice time. Rose was living in a house that she had leased in a subdivision, and we looking around, and Angie said, "Grandpa, why don't you take a look at these houses?" So we looked at the houses, and we saw that they were nice homes, and we left. We went back to New Orleans. In February of the following year, Ethel, my wife, who is my wife, uh, and I were talking, and said, let's move to Texas because we like the area. So I called Angie and I told her, I said, Angie, we might buy a house there in Texas. Said, see if the house that we looked at is available still. So she did, and I described the house to her, and she knew the exact house I was talking about. So she said yes, it was still available, and I told her, well, look, get the real estate agent, and we'll make an offer on it, and we did, and our offer was accepted. So February of 2006, we made a trip out here for the actor sale. And shortly after that, we moved here to Texas. We didn't have anything to move, very little to move, mostly clothes and dishes and things like that we had accumulated since the hurricane. And we're living out here and having a good time. We enjoying the place. We have joined the Catholic Church that the pastor is a pastor from New Orleans, Father Jerome Ledoux, who's very well known there in the Trimmy section. We have met some good people, and presently we're here at Dr. Sharonda Martin's house, and having a good time.
Well, I sure am enjoying you and the family over here, and I just love you guys so much, and thank you for blessing me with your presence.
Well, let me say this. We have adopted Sharonda, and she's our latest granddaughter.
Oh, boy.
We've been trying to turn her age back to about 9 years old, but you can't do it.
Yes, you can. No. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this.
That was good.
That was good.